Hey guys, it's Zander here, and today we're looking at some gameplay on Arena. I've been under the weather, so the videos haven't been getting recorded. I apologize for that. This is gameplay that I actually did a while ago. Because of time constraints and kids, I've been able to record and record and commentate the games as I do them. So I'll in future be trying to do something similar to this, where I record it, and then when I finally do get a chance, I can commentate over the top of it. So let's get into the gameplay. Playing some ranked. Getting back into the season. First game was against Mono Red. You can see, very heavy land hand for the opening hand here, but I do have the growth spiral, so I can ramp fairly early. The draw card from the Radical Idea. Everything is time walked, so I've got everything at ×2 speed to get through the games really quickly. This was one of my decks that I feared going into this, was the Mono Red, because of how aggressive it is. Two Sinister Sabotages in hand. Chainwheel straight into a Sinister. See, my land count's at 5 with 1 in hand, so I want to be able to play out my Dream Eater as soon as possible. It does die to stuff like Lava Coil, but being able to bounce stuff back to the hand is always going to be a good thing. Another Chainwheel into a Sinister. This isn't the completed version of the deck. So you can see here I've got Pause for Reflection instead of, I think I've only got 1 copy on Arena of the... Oh, I can't remember what it is. The one that prevents all combat damage, the 2-cost one. Kindling Phoenix for our opponent. G2 getting in for some damage. You can see here I keep the growth spiral and 1 land on top, so that I can growth spiral and ramp into more land. Dream Eater is going to bounce the Rekindling, block the Dream Eater, and shore up my board a little bit. Ramp a little harder, and actually get in for some damage now. Dream Eater is a little squishy, but its utility is too good to pass up, really. One of my favourite tricks with the blink of an eye is bouncing back my own creatures so that I can get draw card and protect them. With most of my stuff having ETB effects, being able to get it multiple times from the one creature is always good value for me. A lot of people will say that there's other cards that are better than blink of an eye, but I've always been a huge fan of blink. Play out the Radical there because I can still play the Dream Eater. He does play that Rekindling. And yes, this is ×2, so my opponent actually did take that long. Biashino getting in for a little bit more damage. Opponent seemingly getting fairly screwed for land, but if they weren't getting screwed for land, they'd be having even less things to do, so... Yeah, this is a funny bit coming up. So Dreamcaller's in there because I haven't got enough copies of Dream Eater. So the Siren was in the deck as another Flash Flyer, essentially. And I make a really dumb misplay in a second here. I'm sure it'll make you laugh. Love Coil's Dream Eater, this time I don't have an answer. Extra static. Goes to swing in with the Biashino. I think I'm being clever. Flash in the 3/3. And try to block. Why is it not blocking? Oh, it can't block. For sure the text on the card is can only be creatures with flying or something like that. I'm just like, oops. This guy gets cocky, says good game. Plays out a Rekindling. I blink it and draw a card. You can see I've got two things that can prevent combat damage in hand. I don't need all of them. Radical idea. Draw into a Frilled. Even better for me. Shouldn't have played out the Woodland stream there. I should have Radical idea'd. Kindling straight into a Frilled Mystic. Frilled Mystic, an absolute all-star in this deck. I love the card. 3/2 body that counters a spell. Insane. Contemplate swinging in. Of course I'm going to make that trade. Because against an Electrostatic, I'm winning that race. Woodlands Reclamation. Better late than never, I guess. Control deck always having lands up is an absolute nightmare, and yeah, it ended up being a good game. You can see I draw another Frilled Mystic, so I had it pretty well covered. So a surprise upset against Mono Red. Another land heavy hand, but I do have Prevention, Draw Card, and counter spells, so I keep it. Merfolk Trickster's in the main board here, just because it's on Arena. It's a Grappling Sandew, so he's got a massive blocker. But doesn't hit his third land drop. You can see now I've got land up to play either Trickster or Sinister. Play out a Breeding Pool, so now I can blink of an eye if I need to. Turn 4, 3 lands, plays Colossal Might out. I don't counter it because it doesn't actually affect my game plan. A big part of playing Control is threat assessment, and if it's not going to hurt us directly or stop us doing what we need to do, you don't need to counter it. A lot of people make the mistake of, I've got a counter spell, I'm going to counter the next thing that comes. But then I wouldn't have been able to do this and get rid of the Rekindling. Fish the land to the bottom. Surveil is such a good mechanic. It's especially in this gameplay that you'll see. A lot of the times it's land off the top and I still draw into more land, so it would have been 2 turns where I would have drawn into land if I didn't have Surveil being able to filter it off the top. Drawn into another Frilled Mystic. Two Merfolk Tricksters in hand. There's the Knight of the Stampede, so he's obviously on massive dinosaurs that he's just falling short on the land. But we are going to punish it. Bring in more land. I contemplate not attacking because he's just going to block. But then you always, if you think you can get damage in, try. You can't respond. He might think that we've got a buff spell or something. So he just took the damage. So it's 3 damage for free. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. There's always things you got to think about when you're swinging, going to swing. Another one of my favourite combat tricks with the Blink of an Eye. Bouncing the Frilled, so now I have a Frilled Mystic in hand to counter his next big spell that he goes to play, if he plays one. Also drew into a Dream Eater. Trickster's going to tap his creature down so that I can start getting some damage in. And there's another Blink of an Eye, so I can do it a couple more times. Running at 15, and we're at 16. Yep, this is times 2. First Spoiler on end step. Trickster on end step. Just trying to increase the clock a bit. Speed up the clock a bit. Tap down the grappling. He must be sitting on an absolute monster hand, like just all 7 drops. Land Harbor. Two counters, 2 things that can bounce stuff, something to prevent damage. Even if the big things were coming down, they're not doing anything. 111 and I'm at 16. Tries to lightning strike a Merfolk Trickster, but I like my creatures, so I frilled Mystic. Was half expecting another lightning strike here, but I think it comes. But yes, I could have let the Mystic die, but frilled Mystic, getting rid of the spell, adding a 3-body creature to the table, always going to be good. And still have the blink so that I can bounce it back. Now it doesn't matter if he does want to block. Now I can get him for 7 damage. So just grinding through silver here. Obviously the decks aren't going to be fantastic, but it's still pretty good examples of gameplay. Just showing you guys the tricks that you just can do and how the decks can play out. You can see I've still got the God Mystic in hand, and yes, this guy's taking forever. And apparently what I've got is too much for him. Dimir Surveil is next. 3 lander, no duos, but the 2 islands makes me keep because I can play Sinisters and Merfolk Trickster. But Woodland Stream off the top makes for a good turn 1 play. I see all this blue land, I'm thinking, oh god, it's mono blue. You can see I've got the Frilled Mystic and the Sinister Sabotage for counter magic. If I plays out a mission briefing, I'm assuming he's stuck on lands and needs to be able to play some black stuff. Must have had a risky keep. That was the moment I found out it was Dimir. Obviously build around Surveil because it's got so much of it so far. Opponent draws into the land, plays out the bug. This card, oh my god, it is so good. Such an overlooked card. I don't know how good it is, so I'm going to counter the damn thing. Surveil gets rid of the island, because our land count's already at 6 without drawing a card. Draw into another land anyway. I think on this I'm running 25 in the main board. So I counter this, and the reason I do counter it is because of its ability to tap. Target creature doesn't untap during its control's next untap step. Because we want to be getting in for damage with stuff like Dream Eater. If they can just tap it down indefinitely, then we're never going to be able to get any damage in. And the stuff like the Simic Control is just going to absolutely punish you if it can get a chance to draw out of a situation. And we're trying to like assure dominance here, so absolutely flooded on the islands here with our opponent. Plays out the Dimir Spybug. We don't have the counter spell for it. You can see we're getting a little bit flooded ourselves, but Dream Eater's going to help us in a sec. Doesn't want to chump with the Spybug because he knows how big it can get. Disinformation Campaign is another pretty good card. Throw down the Trickster, tap the Spybug so I can start getting in for 5 damage a turn. I know him tapping down all his black, he's not really going to be hitting me with removal, it's just going to be counter spells, maybe. And another good reason to be... Don't always play out all your lands, because there is so much discard stuff in Standard at the moment. And a lot of the times they'll wait until the mid to late game, because they think that you're holding the best stuff in your deck. And when you can just... make you discard a card, and you just discard a land, because you're smart enough to hold on to it. It can really punish your opponent and make them get all the feel-bads. Pretty sure it was bugged out there. I was trying to click it and it wasn't working. In for 5 damage, we're at 18, opponent's at 9. It's his second swamp, so he can play out stuff like Doom Whisperer. Tries to pull out a Lazav. But that's going to meet a Mystic. Was half expecting counter magic, but it didn't come. Lazav the Multifurious has a lot of really cool mechanics on it, so I wasn't really keen on the idea of it becoming stuff that could get bigger if he copies like his Dimir Spybug in the graveyard, and then surveils, and put more counters on it, make it bigger than mine. Yeah, it can become a real problem. But the ETB is always going to be good. This information showing again why it's good. Recurring, making the discard. I do get the ETB effect off that. Both of us have 2 cards in hand, so it's not looking completely one-sided at the moment. Mere Spybug sitting here, doesn't want to trade with the Frilled. Draws a card, plays into... this information again. Again, why I didn't play out the land. All the feel-bads. Opponent getting flooded. Worst case scenario is I meet a counterspell. And that happens. And he gets the Surveil trigger, so now the Spybug is a 3-power guy. Blink of Eye means I can bounce his stuff back and get value out of it. No blue up, so he's not countering my stuff, and I swing in. A little bit grindy, but we got there. The last game here, fully missed this in editing. It's actually a mono-black zombie deck. See another land-heavy hand, but I do have the land to play a Trickster. Hopefully draw into the green source to be able to play the Frilled Mystic. That's not a green source. Opponent plays out the Walking Corpse. Bit of draft chaff. This pseudo mono black zombie deck is absolutely full of just draft chaff. Having to grind my way out of Steelbook from the reset after the end of season, so these are the decks that we have to play against to get back to where we were. Hindsight's a beautiful thing here. Probably should have targeted the Death Bloom and then blocked, but ended up not mattering anyway because of this card when he decides to play it. Skullduggery makes me tiny and I die. Now we have the land for the Frilled Mystics that we have in hand, 2 of. Opponent being very vocal, but Yargle is going to get shut up pretty quickly. opponent getting in. I'll offer up the trade. With the blink of an eye, I didn't care if he got the creature. Didn't matter what token he got, I could blink it. Still holding Frilled, so if he had anything that he was going to play... Sinister. And another blink of an eye. Getting in for damage. We are at 9 and he is at 20. But we have all the cards in hand and that's where we kind of want to be. Opponent's getting a little bit flooded here. I do have the to prevent Root Snare is the card that I was talking about before. So I think I've only got the one copy of Root Snare, which is ridiculous because it's common. But yeah, I just fill out the rest of it with Pause for Reflection. Frilled Mystic getting in. Luckily, opponent's still getting fairly flooded. Pause for Reflection. Bounce back the Thellid because we're holding Counter Magic, and we draw even more of it. Play out the Wilderness for Reclamation. Again, better late than never. 3 counter spells in hand. One of them being the ETB, the Frilled Mystic, so now we've got the board and he does not. Kind of ignoring my own rule here by playing out all these lands. I probably should have kept at least one of them in hand in case he played stuff like the Discard Saga. Sky Marcher is going to run straight into a Sinister Sabotage. Breeding Pool. Again, I play it out. Frilled Mystic, getting in for damage. Digraph meets a Sinister Sabotage. Now, this is... I'm countering everything that I can because I want to completely stop his board state and then he's just in top deck mode. And if his top decks don't beat our top decks, which a lot of the times they shouldn't, we get the game. Thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I can get some more of this gameplay stuff out. This deck's really fun. I hope you guys can put it together and let me know in the comments how you go if you do. GG.
Thanks for watching, guys. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to see new videos as they were released. If you like what I do and you want to support the channel, you can throw me $1 on my Patreon at patreon.com/ZandersQuest. And I will see you guys in the next video. Keep questing, guys.